Hey everybody, hope you're doing good today. This is just going to be a quick EDC update. I've acquired a couple new things over the past maybe 3 months, and also with the season starting to change outside, we're going to spring in the next, I don't know, month or so, hopefully. And the weather's already starting to get warmer, so usually that means for me carrying less stuff because I don't have my big winter jacket to carry it in. For the most part, I'll just go through the newer stuff that I got. Went down to S&R Knives here just outside Toronto and got to look at all their really nice knives, and was a really great time. Love going to actual knife stores to handle knives. It gives you so much more insight into what you're actually buying before you buy it, and that's pretty much invaluable to me. Walked out of there with Spyderco Native 5 G10 S35 VN steel. Really been liking this knife. It's a really great size, just under 7 inches. Been really blown away with Spyderco's S35 VN. I'm not too sure what they heat treat it to, but they do it right. This thing holds an amazing edge, and it's really not hard at all to bring that edge back. The action on it's really smooth. Excuse me. When I first got this, it was a little stiff, as all Spydercos tend to be. They just require a break-in period, but as you see now, I could just depress the back lock and the blade drops free like that. That's because it has the same bushing pivot as the Manix 2 and the paramilitary 2 here. Exact same pivot bushing system where it has two shouldered edges to the pivot, and sandwiched between that is the blade and the actual washers. So this knife is a really great EDC knife. It gives you a good full grip on the staggered back position, but if you use that finger choil, that's where the comfort is for this knife. Jimping is really great, and classic Spyderco blade shape on this one. I was really surprised at the fit and finish of this knife. It runs right up there with Spyderco's Keychain Taiwan models. There's nothing bad I could say about this knife. The back spacer here is totally flush. There's no gaps. You can't even feel a sort of ridge when you're dragging your fingers across. And to pull off a back lock with that such tight tolerances is actually quite difficult to do. Standard Spyderco pocket clip on this one, pretty much the same as the Delica, with the round hole in the middle of the clip just to allow a lanyard. Like I said, the S35 VN on this is really great. Semi-thin blade stock, which is nice for slicing, and was really impressed with this knife when I first picked it up in hand. Been on the fence on this knife for about 1.5 years now, and getting it in hand, it was the deciding factor. It's the right balance between size, weight, and function, which makes a really perfect EDC for me. Moving on, I got a really awesome birthday present from a very good friend of mine in the States. He ended up gifting me his Spyderco Volatin. He knew how much I really wanted one of these knives, but here in Canada they're almost $300. Really awesome knife. Super thick in handle, super thick blade stock also, but the hollow grind on this makes it a really great slicer. Really comfortable in hand, and actually because of the thin profile of the handle this way, it's actually quite nice to carry in pocket. If this was as thick as, let's say, the Manix here, and also that thick in the handle width, it would be sort of bulky, but just in the pocket here I could get my hand into my pants no problem, and also have a fairly beefy knife on me. This is a hard use knife. There's no doubt in my mind that that's what it is, a hard use gentleman's knife. Gentleman's just because of the way it sort of looks. Also got a birthday present from my brother, a CRKT M16. This actual model's the 10KZ. First experience with the auto locks system here, where you have to pull that back to actually disengage the liner. I actually quite like it. I'm a sort of mechanical type guy, and I like the mechanical aspects of knives, and just having that extra step in there doesn't hinder this knife whatsoever. It doesn't make it difficult to close. You can see I'm pretty apt at closing it now. And the actual flipping action on this knife is quite good. Don't need any wrist flick, and it comes out hard every time. Another great size knife, this one. You get a full 4-finger grip and an actual decent blade length on it. I actually do like the serrations on this model. When I like serrations, they are few and far between. I'm a plain edge type guy, but these serrations really do the job for me. A very pointy nature of those serrations allow cutting of rope and zip ties really easily. All you really have to do is slide the knife in between the blocks and zip ties and sort of tilt up like that, and those serrations cut through every time. Been really enjoying carrying this knife. The only bad thing I could say about it, it doesn't come tip up. You can't put this pocket clip tip up. It's tip down only. Tip down only, right hand carry only. So that might dissuade people right there from getting it. But love the tanto, and the steel on it's decent also. I've got this to be shaving sharp. I don't know if that'll come across on camera, but you'll just have to take my word for it. Most knives I could get shaving sharp unless it's pretty much non-heat treated steel. But really enjoyed playing with this, really enjoyed carrying it. I did a modification to this knife in that there's a little section here where you go to disengage the lock. I just maybe carved that out a little bit more, just to add access, easier access to the liner lock. And since doing that, it's been a joy to carry. Strong lockup on this, there's no blade play. And when I test for blade play, guys, I really give it. I grab the knife down here by the butt, I grab it by the tip, and I wiggle as hard as I can to try and make that blade wiggle. But as I'm finding out with most knives where the thumb studs are stop pins, it actually gives a much more secure lockup. Just like the Zero Tolerance 0350 here, it uses the thumb studs as blade stops, and I really like that design of knives. What's not going to change too much is my Victorinox Deluxe Tanker. This thing is pretty awesome. It has all the tools I'd want in everyday carry and none that I wouldn't. The only thing I did to this from a stock one was change the scales out to these sapphire ones, but also they come with the added, they're plus scales, so they actually come with the pen itself. Really do use that pen a lot, and I actually ordered a spare one along with a bunch of spare parts for my SAK models. Really great knife, and it's starting to get actually scratched up, which shows use, and it's actually taking it quite well. You look at it like this and you can't even tell, but if you get it in the light, just the right angle, you can see all the scratches and wear marks. So that's pretty much the knives that I've been carrying. Have been on occasion carrying, once again, my Tops UTE. Just really love this knife in hand. It's really comfortable. The size is very small, but very capable at that. And just a great EDC fixed blade. Super tough. 1095 Krovan steel is pretty remarkable stuff. Love the sheath, and I actually put a couple different holes in this so I could actually mount it to my tech lock instead of the standard spring clip, and really been loving carrying this even more because of that. Tech locks are some of my favorite way to carry a knife. The only other way I'd carry a knife would probably be neck carry, but I wouldn't do that with this knife. It's just a little bit too heavy for me. Or actually, I've been looking into getting a leather pocket sheath. just so I could actually keep it in my front right pocket like I do most of my folding knives. Standard sunglasses. I really do need sunglasses a lot of the times, and during the winter even more so than the summer, I'd say. In the summer I tend to wear a hat and have sunglasses on me, but don't always wear them. But in the winter time I tend to need sunglasses even more, just from the reflection of the snow, and on a bright day it's so bright that it tends to hurt my eyes. So not really anything special. These are just Dickies sunglasses, polarized, 100% UV protection, and they're actually quite tough. I've been carrying my Through Night Archer 1A V2. Really like this light because it has that front mode selector, and I think this is 160, 170 some lumens, somewhere around there. And when I carry this, it's either just in my pocket, clipped to it with this sort of deep carry pocket clip, or in the sheath for my Archer 1A first gen. They don't give these sheaths with the Archer models anymore. I wish they did, because I really like this sheath, but I also wish they did because it actually fits my Deluxe Tinker quite well. So if I ever wanted to carry this on my belt, it has a pretty tight retention to it, like that's not going to be shaking out of there anytime. And retracting it's pretty easy too, just with this small lanyard I have. So sort of a dual purpose sheath right here. Next up, let's go to the wallets. My standard wallet is this tracker ID protection, so it eliminates any sort of scanning of your wallet to sort of steal your ID. I have my credit card information stolen once, and I don't want to go through that again. Had $170 some taken out of my account every hour on the hour for 2 days, and that wasn't a good thing. Luckily, I had protection on my credit card, so I got it all back. They found the person and arrested him. But I was given a gift by ADD Tactical of his wallet strap, and the actual other ones I'm wearing is the wrist strap. I've been actually liking this wallet really a lot. The thinness of it is amazing. I'm used to a super thick wallet, so this thing just disappears in my back pocket, and really been enjoying having a strap on me at all times. You can see here I have the red compound on one side, the green on the other. You can see the metal actually worn off on the leather from me actually using it, and surprised how much after I'm using a knife I'll just whip this out, give it a couple straps back and forth, put it back in my pocket for the next time I need to use it. Really high grade leather, really awesome stitching, super stylish also, and yeah, it's been a joy to carry. I have most of the cards I need in here: ID, credit cards, air miles, a couple of receipts just here in the back. What else? Costco card, and credit card, bank card. It fits about 8 to 10 different cards, and just a really neat design. Also, another neat design is the wrist strap here. Really find this comfortable, and I don't really wear watches. I don't really wear too much on my wrist, but actually I found that this, just because of the supple nature of the leather, has been really comfortable to wear, and actually really handy also. Just show you now, you just unbuckle this, put it on a flat surface, and you got your strapping surface here. I got the green compound on this one. Basically all you do is lay it on something flat like this and just give it a couple straps back and forth. I find that I'd show you now, but I'm actually recording this with my cell phone. I put this on the back of my cell phone and strap on the back of my cell phone. And if I don't have my wallet on me, like if I'm going in the bush, I don't always carry my wallet just for fear of losing it somewhere out there. So I'll actually have this on me at all times, and actually like the way it looks, so I've been wearing it since I got it. It's showing some signs of wear. just from sweating and getting it wet sort of thing. But with me, the more weather sort of wears and gets wear and tear on it, the more rugged and sort of better it looks. Also really good quality. The snaps haven't come undone when I didn't want them, and when I want them undone, they come undone easy. So it's been a really nice addition, these two pieces, to my actual EDC. And lastly would be the keys. So on my keys, I always have my ThruNite T10S, really durable flashlight. I thought this broke once, but contacted ThruNite, and they asked before I send it back if I could try tightening the head. So I just took a pair of tweezers, put it in, gave it a little turn, tried it out, and it's worked ever since. So I guess from dropping it and banging it around, that sort of came loose, but works perfect now. All the modes work, and it's been a really handy light. Just the keys I need, house keys. My Victorinox Classic has been invaluable. Just comes with your standard toothpick, tweezers, knife blade, small screwdriver, and nail file, and then the scissors. Keep it on these Night Eyes S clips here, and I've really been pleased with those. I've had these same ones for about almost 2 years now. Carry also a Night Eyes doohickey. This I actually took a toilet out with, so you know the screws that bolt the toilet to the floor. I couldn't get the caps off, so I pried it off with that, and it actually worked quite well. Tried a bunch of different things before I used this, but this was the only thing that worked. I tried butter knives, screwdrivers, but the edge of them wasn't thin enough to actually get in there and pry it up. So I pried the plastic covers off, grabbed a wrench, and took the toilet off. Also, while taking the back of the tank off, I ended up using these on the little plastic bolts that hold the tank to the actual toilet base. And really worked awesome. It needed something small to just get in behind it to get them loose, and worked awesome. Also has a little sort of wrench here built into it with a couple nut sizes and its own built-in carabiner, so you can take it on and off your keys really easy. Also, I got my little minion on here just as a little keychain thing. So that's the keys. I've been carrying a little bit other knives than what you see here. Every now and then when I go out in the bush, I like to carry my Swiss Army Farmer, just because it does have the thicker blade and the extremely handy saw here. I've used this saw a lot, and it's still damn sharp, poking into my finger when I do that. And really awesome knife. Looking forward to actually Victorinox coming out with their Pioneer X model. It's a basic Pioneer, but they added scissors. A lot of people have been asking for that, and really happy to see it coming out this year. Also been carrying my Manix 2. Haven't really carried this since I got rid of my other Manix 2. I had 2 identical ones and sold one off, or actually traded it for this knife here, the Benchmade Striker, Mini Striker. But after trading that one off, haven't really carried this one because I got a lot of knives around that same time. But really been enjoying carrying this one again. This is the older model with the saber ground blade, G10 handles, S30V steel. Really awesome knife. Forget how tough this knife is when you don't carry it for a little bit, and really feels great in the hand. Been also carrying on occasion my Benchmade 710. Don't carry this as much as I thought it would, maybe just because of the actual size of the blade, but when I really only need, or really only can bring one knife with me, like when I went to Toronto just recently, I brought this, and this was my food prep knife in the hotel, just because it does have that 4-inch blade. It really proves it's worth, once you get rid of all your other knives and only have to carry one, this would be the one I pick often. just around where I live and all that, I don't really need to limit myself to carrying one knife, so I'll pick something else, a bigger blade, a smaller blade, or a fixed blade and a small blade. I always got my SD on me, so I tend not to carry this as much as I maybe want to, but going out in the bush or something like that, I'll always bring this just because it is a tough knife and it does have that extra long blade, which proves well when you're actually doing sort of woodwork with it. So cutting off branches, shaping sticks, marshmallow sticks, or actually trying to get a fire started just in like that little hobo stove I have, made out of a coffee can, just small tinder stuff like that. D2 steel has been one of my favorite steels now for a little bit. It's super tough and really resilient. Have no problems with it rusting whatsoever, and all I really do is wipe it off with a wet towel afterwards and dry it off, and it's good to go again. Do a lot of food prep, cut tomatoes, onions, carrots, all sorts of things with this knife, and don't have a spot of rust on it. So that's been my, I guess, quick EDC update. 21 minutes I've been talking, so not that quick, I guess. Hope you like this video, guys, and stay tuned for more. I'll be doing separate videos on a lot of these different knives and gear. So thanks for watching, guys.